Hello and welcome to Master It Monday. I am your host, Maggie Carey. Today, we are going to be sharing some amazing tips on how you can combine building relationships on your business networking and your social networking. I'm a social media strategist who educates businesses on developing and engaging social media presence, but I'm also an avid networker. I'm part of a national organization called Master Networks, and I business network because you can't just be on social media. Yes, you heard it from me. You can't just be on social. You need to use your social strategically in your business. And today we have a very special guest. We have Kristin Walton, who is a success coach with Master Networks. She helps connect like-minded business owners and entrepreneurs together to form an amazing network of chapters. She actually lives by the Master Networks culture, which is high ethics, personal integrity, and the ability to lift others. And she's coming from us all the way from Utah, and she's got a husband, 4 kids, 2 dogs, and the best smile you will ever see in the country. She's amazing. So my pleasure to introduce you to Kristin Walton. Hey, Kristin.
Hi, Maggie. Thank you for that introduction. I'm blushing. Now I'm like making sure I have the perfect smile up.
I am so glad. Well, you always brighten my day. Anytime we have a meeting, I always look forward to it. So Kristin and I actually are accountability partners. We met through Master Networks. They have a group coaching program, and that's where we met. And it's, oh my gosh. And this is the great thing. Like, we can connect over state lines. You don't have to just be, I'm from New York. She's from, Utah. Now, you're not originally from Utah, right?
No, I'm not. Well, but I've lived here so long that I feel like now when I talk to people, I've lived here 23 years. But I grew up in California, lived there till I was about 12. My family relocated to Minnesota, lived there for a while. So now I'm probably telling you my age with all the math you guys can do on that. Right. So I've lived here 23 years and I love it. It's a beautiful state. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I always look at it, as long as you don't look your age, you're good, right? Like, that's where it is. So, Kristin, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself so they can get to know you better?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you said, I've been married for 18 years, met my husband on a blind date. So don't ever squash out those blind dates that people want to set you up with. They do work sometimes. So met him on a blind date. We've been married 18 years and we have 4 children ranging from the ages of 16 to 9. And so we have 3 girls, 1 boy. So they keep us on our toes and super busy. We have 2 dogs, a Great Dane and a Sheepadoodle, and they're super fun. We love to take them on walks, and up in the mountains, we live right by the canyon. And so we go up to the mountains in the summer, in the spring, in the winter, take sleds up there. So it's super fun. We like to get outdoors as much as possible. And then keep
going. I was going to say, tell us about Master Networks.
Yeah, right. And then segueing to Master Networks. I've worked for Master Networks for about a year and a half now, and I am a virtual success coach. I love what I do because I get to connect with people like you, Maggie. I get to meet people all across the United States that I maybe would not have met, without networking and without this job. So you meet great people that you can connect with. And with Master Networks, what I do is I find people in areas that maybe there isn't a Master Networks chapter, or it's someone who wants to network and they're not familiar with the area or know that there's a Master Networks chapter available. So I will work with you, either helping you find one in your area or helping you start one and grow one. And it's been a super fun process. And I just love getting to know people all across the United States.
It is amazing, like how we've grown. Like the New York region has grown ridiculously through the pandemic. In 2020, since 2020, March of 2020, we've doubled. I think we've grown our region 48%.
Wow.
And we have a retention rating, which is really important, right? Our retention is 98%. So not only are we getting new members in, but we're also keeping them happy, you know? So, so one of the things that questions I'd love to ask you is, how does Master Networks use social media to connect with their members and prospects?
Great question. So we have social media all across the platform. We have Facebook, we use Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. If you're not familiar with Workplace, Workplace is owned by Facebook, but it's just for your business. So it just doesn't have all the noise in there that you would get, you know, through Facebook and stuff. It's all business related. They're all members of Master Networks. It's a great way to reach out and, you know, talk to each other. I mean,
yeah, we do calls through, right? Like our calls, we just video chat. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you can message somebody on there. Yeah, you can do video chats with other members. I mean, instantly. So it's a great tool. I personally like it. You can, you know, ask people questions. You can reach out to other members in Master Networks that, you know, maybe you have a question, you're in a similar industry and you have a question for them, or you're looking for somebody in another state that does, you know, in your industry that you need help with something there in that state. And it's a great way to reach out. So we're all across the platforms of Instagram, Facebook, and those types of things. So, and we do Facebook Lives too. We have, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do a Facebook Live with different members, and there's, you know, Q&A, and different people can get to know different people and different things about different industries and things like that.
And it really does, like the Facebook Lives are very interactive. There's actually like networking that like happens within the chat, right? Like there's so much going on in the chat. I cannot even.
It's almost hard to keep up with the chat when you're doing the live and you're chatting and
right. And you know, one of my big things, like I had been a presenter one day where, you know, I took over the I took over the channel. But it was very cool because I felt like, you know, we had, you know, and you can visit this as facebook.com/Master Networks Inc. And you can go there and, you know, watch past episodes. You can see, I mean, we have people from our region who go on live. We have Stephanie Bellafato and Rob Genovese. You talk about culture, right? Because it's not just about networking, and you know, Master Networks is based, it's a relationship based organization, right? We talk about building relationships, getting to know each other and things like that, but it's also learning how to use like the social networks. You talked about Workplace. Like Workplace is great because you do know, like, look, we want to promote our businesses on Facebook and Instagram and everything else, but you know how distracting it can be. So when you're trying to like zone in and do the things you need to do to grow your business, sometimes having a thing like Workplace, it, you know, is a sort of like an offshoot of Facebook, right? It gives you that kind of distraction-free zone, like you mentioned, right? Totally cool. So you know, we go live. We talk about a lot of businesses will take their business information and share it on some of the, like today's event, I shared in Facebook groups that have Master Networks members in them. You can also do things like take it and share it on your personal page. Do you find people do that with their personal, they'll share their business information or their Master Networks information on their personal page?
Absolutely. And I think one way that it can grow, a great way to grow it, is we have regional pages, we have chapter pages with Master Networks. So depending on the chapter that you're in, you can go in and post your your business information on that chapter page or your regional page. And then other members can come in and share that on their personal page. So you think about it, your business is growing, tenfold. If
Yeah.
we average, let's say the average person has 500 friends on Facebook. So if you have a chapter that has 15 members and they all share your post, your business post from Facebook on their personal page, you're hitting 7,500 people with your business information. It's a great way to network and to advertise and get your business out there. And so, yeah, I see it all the time. Sometimes I feel like my Facebook is more people from Master Networks and those business things, which I love to see. So
Yeah. And what we'll find, like, I'm just going to share the Master Networks Facebook page so you can check this out a little bit. But here is, the Master Networks, and you see even the logo, their header has all these smiley, happy people, right?
Mhm.
This is where it's all about. And you can see here was alive and they give you some information. I mean, I want you to see this here. 41,975 people like this page.
Yeah.
So it's
Amazing.
insane, and there's Chaz, he's the CEO of the organization. We have, they show a little bit of the personal stuff that's going on. There's videos all the time. Make sure that even if you're not a member, go over and like the page and follow it and check it out, because networking isn't, again, we're talking about today combining what you do personally with what you do on your socials, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kristin, do you have any tips that you could share how people can use their business network to get more engagement on your social?
Yeah, I think the thing is to find those, like reach out and find those different socials that you can get onto. I think sometimes people think it's Instagram and Facebook, and
Right.
there's so many other ways that you can engage. Um, a big one that I think is the Nextdoor app. You can get on that app and you're working with people in your community. You can find people to network with there. If you're looking to, grow your network, that's a great app. There's LinkedIn. You can go in and search, same type of thing. You can search for people who maybe are in your same industry or who are in your community. There's on Facebook, you can do, I think it's called What's Up, and then you can put a city, or just even community Facebook pages are a great way to connect with people and just to grow your network that way. Finding people. I saw someone post one time on a community Facebook page. They said looking for a plumber or something. And so a bunch of people listed a bunch of plumbers that they knew, but then they reached out to all those plumbers and said, "Hey, I'm a part of a networking group. Would you like to, we're looking for a plumber. Would you like to come, and join us?" And I think that's a great way to find people that you're looking for that you need to network. When you're networking, sometimes you need a good synergy partner in your network. And so a great way to find those people is to reach out to other people through social media. And so, maybe they're not the right person to network with, but they know somebody. And that's kind of how we think in Master Networks, is that you're just one relationship away from changing your future. And so that one relationship that you have with somebody on social media could help change your business and your future and your network. So
Yeah,
I think it's a great way.
we talked about growing, like my business exploded during the pandemic because everybody was like, well, what do I do now? I can't do the traditional things I normally do. People aren't driving, people aren't going out. How do I do them? And it was like, I got to use social media. And I think, Master Networks evolved by having these lives at night. We had, in our region, in the New York, Connecticut region, we are all virtual. And because it's been so successful based on those statistics I shared earlier, they've decided to continue to stay virtual, right? And for me, it helped because now everybody's so used to using Zoom and, and video conversations that before, if I had said to a client, hey, can we have a Zoom call? It would be like, what? Whoa, hey, what's the matter? You don't want to meet with me? Now it's more open, we talk about locally, right? Like for me, I'm a social media strategist. We have our teleprompter, which can go out anywhere. It doesn't matter. It could be anywhere in the United States. Somebody can use it. And our services we can handle, like we have people in Texas and in Chicago. So we have people all over the world, all over the country. But a lot of our members are local, like you mentioned, the plumbers, the real estate agents, things like that. One of the things that Kristin and I were talking about was how you can find people on LinkedIn in your local area. So if you're a local business, and feel free to share any information in the chat, but do you want to share that process, Kristin, how you found people locally to a specific region?
Yeah, so you can go in and find people that you're friends with on LinkedIn, and you can go in and search through their contacts as well and find people. So sometimes, like I said, you may be looking for a plumber or a real estate agent or something. You can go through all your contacts and look at people they know, or you can even reach out to them and say, hey, I'm looking for this type of person or this industry. And then they can, share with you a contact that they have. There's a great way to go into, and it's probably another show to talk about, but there's a way that you can go in and do like a second, now I can't think of what it's called, but a second contact type thing. So
yeah, it's your second connection.
Yes, second connection. So maybe you could look for a specific city that you're looking for, and you can type in second connection, and then a lot of people that may have a connection in those cities and things like that. So it's a great way to just kind of reach out to people and find who you're looking for. I think sometimes I think it's helped being on Zoom and using social media more to reach out to people. But I think sometimes we've thought that, the old school, I've got to look in the yellow pages or, whatever, or just Google or something, but use the people, use them as a resource to reach out. Sometimes you can go into Facebook and type in a specific city, and sometimes people that you're friends with like that city page, and so you're like, okay, I'm going to reach out to them and see who they know in that city that can maybe help me with what I need.
And on Instagram, you can use the location. You can do a hashtag. A lot of people hashtag and then the state. I'm more than happy to share my screen here to show you a little bit about what Kristin was talking about with LinkedIn. Let's just pop this open here. So when I'm searching my network, I just go to my network, and then I can do people, and I can do second connections. So anyone who is a second connection of somebody, and they'll show who else they're connected to that I'm not. So a first connection is somebody that you're directly connected with, right? The first degree connection. Second degree would be somebody who is connected to somebody you're connected to, but you're not. You can also do things like you can search for, and here was the location. So now, Kristin, what are what's one of the towns that you're growing chapters in?
Carlsbad, California.
So all I've got to do is pick Carlsbad, California, show results. And now I'm going to get anyone who's in that kind of area that's a second degree connection. I could also do third degree connection and show results. And that gave me 81,000 results. Like, you want to talk about the power of the 6 degrees of separation. We're just talking about 3 degrees of separation, and look at the insanity, right? We went from 362 to 81,000.
Yeah.
And, so don't forget, like, LinkedIn is a great way to, I think these are a lot of, and we have a YouTube video that goes into more detail on this. So if you pop over to our YouTube channel, you'll find that, just search for LinkedIn and you'll find a plethora of videos. But one of them is about how you can find these connections locally, which is where, even though our New York region and New York, Connecticut is virtual, we predominantly most of the people are from the New York area. They try to find a chapter that has, so they can meet locally. But, our chapter has somebody from Canada, and it cracks me up because he's, when he says about,
Right.
it's the,
About.
and it's great. Like we have other chapters have people from, countries that are a lot further away. We have somebody from Scotland, and so this is where we really grow. Master Networks is growing, but look, it's not just about Master Networks. It's about how we are growing our businesses, right? Master Networks is key on doing that. So, if anybody has any questions, pop them. You're all being very quiet today. Pop them in the chat. We're more than happy to answer them. One of the things, so we're a week before, what is it? How many days? 4 days?
I know there's like 4 days until Thanksgiving.
Heck, I thought it was this. I thought we just got over the summer. I can't believe it is Thanksgiving. We're going into the holidays. December's around the corner. But so let's do something fun. We want to know, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? Let's put that out on the table.
Yeah.
Favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Yeah, mine.
Yes.
I'm not a huge pie person. I think the only time I eat pie is at Thanksgiving. But then you see like all the selections that are there. There's like 12 different types of pie. So in our family, someone will say, hey, we've got chocolate, key lime, pumpkin, which one do you want? And we always just say, yes. I want a little sliver of all of them. I want to try them all. So I don't think I have a favorite one, but I do love trying all the different pies, especially if they're homemade. I mean, some stores, they're okay, but if it's a homemade one, I want to try it because you put a lot of love in that pie. Yeah. And that's what's different from the store ones that you can buy and the homemade ones.
That's the one thing, like I always say, they ask you, what's your favorite dish? What's your favorite? Well, my grandmother used to make homemade ravioli. Right. Yeah. So the dough was so soft and it melted in your mouth, and the combination of the cheeses she used, and oh my God, it was insane. I have never to this day found anything to match that. Like you can't buy it in a store. You can't, even if I tried to make it, I cannot replicate that. Right. And I just think it was the way she had learned over the decades of making it that there's a certain uniqueness that cannot be replicated. You just can't, as close as you can try, you can try, but that's where, having that uniqueness is, and we can circle back to social media because now I'm really hungry. But
right? I was like, it's lunchtime here. Now I want ravioli next.
Now I want ravioli. Oh, and she used to make homemade tomatoes. Oh my God. I don't know. That's another question for another day. Right, do you call it tomato sauce or do you call it gravy? Because in New York, there could be a throwdown over what it is. I'm like, I'm sorry, if it's tomato, it's sauce. And other people are like, that has meat in it, it's gravy. And I'm like, I don't care. It's good. I'm eating it.
Whatever you call it, it's delicious. And I want some. Yeah.
That's right. But circling back to social media, like all of this stuff, like we talk about what's your favorite whatever, right? That's a great way to get engagement on your social. It's also a great way to get to learn about your audience. So if you're doing something so last Thanksgiving, what I did was actually, it was just funny. You mentioned, we mentioned all the pies, right? I had done a story, and on stories, you can add little stickers. And one of the stickers is you can vote on something, right? You can put in either or, like yes or no or whatever. So I put, I went into my favorite Canva, because I'm all about my Canva. And I went in and I created, apple pie on one side, pumpkin pie on the other. Then I put in a little sticker. What's your favorite? Well, let me tell you something. That got more engagement that month than any other post I had done.
Sure.
It had nothing to do with social media. Because people are very adamant about their pie.
flavors,
Yes.
you know?
They're adamant about their pies, and they it's an easy question to answer. Now, later on, I had asked, "What's your favorite platform, Facebook or Instagram?" And I got a couple of responses. Didn't even come close to the apple and pumpkin debate. So,
Right, right. We are very strong about our opinions on food, I think, in this country for sure.
yeah. Well, think about it. Like I tell businesses that are in the restaurant, the restaurant industry, you need to have a strong Google My Business presence,
Mhm.
because if you don't, you are losing an opportunity. People love to take pictures of their food and post it. And some people don't even know that they're doing it on Google My Business. Google just says, "Hey, we noticed you were at XYZ restaurant. What did you think?" And you're like, "Oh, let me share my photos. Oh my
Right?
God, look at this, what I ate." Okay, so my daughter Jackie and I went to a restaurant over the weekend. It was a Belgian waffle with a homemade mascarpone
Mm,
strawberry ice cream.
yum.
Oh my God. So she had to share it with me.
Right,
I like yours much better than
right,
what I got
right.
was good too. But we took a picture of it, and I'm always supporting local businesses by doing that. So one thing that I encourage my Master Networks members to do, I'm an area director for Master Networks, which is different than a success coach. An area director is kind of responsible for a chapter and helping them grow. So one of the things that I do is I help them grow their business, right? It's not just about the chapter. Again, it's about the business. We
Mhm.
talk about when you are at, you're supporting other businesses, you give them a review, or you say something, in a, like you had mentioned, somebody's looking for a plumber, we use put down the plumber's name, right? That's in your chapter. You tag them, you get them exposure. But guys, the beauty is the reciprocation that happens with that, because when you post, especially on LinkedIn, when I comment on somebody else's post, what happens? My picture comes up, my
Mhm.
name comes up, my business information comes up. Somebody can say, "Oh, wow, this Maggie, she's always sharing such great information. I wonder what she's about." Now, it doesn't even have to be about your industry. It
Right,
doesn't. It could be like, "Where can I find the best pumpkin pie in Utah?"
right.
Like seriously. And then what happens
Absolutely.
is people are like, "Wow, this Maggie knows every single restaurant in Utah." And they click on you,
Mhm.
and what do they find? Well, that's where you have to make sure your Facebook profile or your Instagram profile is really beefed up. I
Right.
always, on my personal, I always put business information. I don't throw it in people's face, because, like, look, my people are connected to me personally because there's a personal connection. They're not
Right.
always an ideal client, right? So, keep those things in mind. Listen to what Kristin shared with you today for your business, and involve your personal network, your business network. Go, if you don't have a Master Networks chapter, let me tell you something. Kristin is the person to talk to, because she builds chapters from nothing, from
Yes.
zero. You will have no members, and before you know it, you've got a chapter at 15, and then it becomes a master chapter at 25, and you are networking and growing your business faster than you ever could have with traditional methods. So here's Kristin's contact information. So make sure you reach out to her, send her an email, let her know how she can help you grow your own business. And like I said, she's in Utah, but I'm in New York. We're still connected. We leverage each other's network to grow our individual businesses. I connected her to my brother who lives in California, because
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, Anthony, you need to help Kristin, because there are people I know you're connected to that could really use her help. So you never know where business is going to come from. So for sure, reach out to Kristin. Let her know that you saw her on Master It Monday. Remember, we're here every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's 12 p.m. on your time, Utah. So you just come on it, whatever state you're in, you can find us here. And of course, we've got our teleprompter, which will help you every week. So if you're not sure what that is, go to town. And of course, teleprompter uses Canva templates, and this is a great way for you to create your social in no time. I am a big fan of Master Networks if you haven't figured it out by now. So pop over to masternetworks.com, go visit a meeting. I don't care where it is. We have meetings all day, all day. I won't say all night, but it depends on where you live.
Right. And they can reach out to me and I can help them find one to visit.
Yeah.
So
Pop on over to Kristin at masternetworks.net. That's .net, so don't send it to .com. The .com is for when you go on the website.
right.
So, but Kristin, I want to thank you so much for all the great information you shared today and for taking the time to be on our Master It Monday. I just thanks so much for all you do, including, talking me off the ledge every once in a while when I'm struggling with a burning business question. You are an amazing resource and definitely the best smile in the country.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I loved it today. That was so fun.
All right. Awesome. Well, guys, that's it for Master It Mondays. Today's episode on tips for building relationships with your business and social network. I hope you found this helpful. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you give us that thumbs up. Leave us some love in the comments below. We'll make sure we follow up if you have any questions. And for now, we're going to say goodbye. And remember, at Master It Media, we take the commotion out of your promotion. See you next Monday at 2:00. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
See ya.